Hi Sil besties, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I made these gorgeous African print shorts with a shared elastic waistband and pockets. If you want to see how I did it, just stick around and I'll show you. This is the first of a two-part video. In this part, I'll be showing you how I drafted my pattern. The second part will be a sewing video. If you want to get value from this video, please stick around to the end. Also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop your comments in the comment section. I want to see all of it. If you're ready, just like I am, let us get to work. First, I'll go ahead and mark a vertical line on the left side. This is going to be my outer seam line. And also at the top, I'll be marking a horizontal line, which is going to be my waistline or my starting point. I'll be labeling these two lines for easy identification. Next, I'll go ahead to mark my waist to hip measurement, which is 10 inches. And I'll be ruling a horizontal line across. This measurement is taken from waist downwards. I'll be calling this line H. So I'll also go ahead to mark my waist to crotch depth measurement, which is 11.5, and I'll also go ahead to rule a horizontal line across. I'll label it C, as in crotch. Our final horizontal line is going to be our length from the waist downwards. So I'm marking this here, and I'll go ahead to rule a horizontal line again. Next, I'll divide what I have on my hip, which is my hip circumference, by 4, and this is going to give me 10, which I'm going to be marking on my crotch line as well as my waistline. To use a vertical line to connect these 2 points. To calculate your crotch extension, divide your hip circumference by 16 and mark this after the last vertical line. 40 divided by 16 is 2.5. From the last vertical line, I'll divide what I have on the entire crotch line by 2 and mark the center. Come down to the bottom line of my short and also mark the same value as well. Connect these 2 points with a broken line. This is the center line of my shorts. Divide the bottom circumference of my shorts by 4 and mark the value on both sides of this line on the bottom line here. Connect from my crotch line on this side to the last point marked, and then from my crotch extension point here to the last point I marked on the other side. Go up on the crotch line by 2 inches. Move away on that point by 0.5 of an inch or half of an inch. Using my curved ruler, I'm going to make a crotch curve here. Extend the center line upwards. We will not be imputing our waist measurements because we are going to be using an elastic waistband. So what we have on our hip is what we will have on our waist. The elastic will give us the fitting we need on the waist. So here I'm cutting out the front shorts pattern, and I'll go ahead to place this pattern on a fresh paper where I'm going to be drafting the back piece for our shorts. Securing my front pattern on the new paper which I have, and I'll go ahead to extend the horizontal lines which I have on my front short piece. This is to enable me to impute the required allowance which I need to add to the back pattern. On this crotch line, I come down by half of an inch. On that point, I move away from the front trouser pattern by 2 inches. This is my back crotch line. I divide what I have in between my center line and my crotch curve for the front, and I mark it. Next, I measure my crotch extension for the front, which was 2.5. Now I'll be marking 2.5 from this midpoint, which I marked earlier, upwards. Doing the crotch curve for the back now, just watch what I do carefully. I'll be connecting these last 2 points, which I just made, with my curve. I'll measure what I have on the front waist here. Remember I told you that what I have on the front waist is actually my hip measurement. I'll transfer it to the back waist in a slant form just like this. Marking 1 inch allowance on both sides of the bottom line. I connect this side to the back crotch line. 1 inch allowance on this side of the crotch line for ease. Now I connect all the points together. Cutting out my back short piece. Now I go ahead to mark my waistband width, which is 1.5. I mark this on my front trouser pattern as well as the back trouser pattern, and I cut it out. Note, however, that my waistband is actually going to be thicker than 1.5. Now on the front piece, I'm going to be drafting my pockets pattern, and to do this, I'll be going in on the waist by 4 inches and coming down by 5 inches. Next, I'll use my curve to draw the shape I want. You can make whatever shape you want to make. Now, the hip line is going to be the depth of my pocket, so I'm just going to take note of that. Now, I'll get a fresh paper and I'm going to draw the outline of my front piece just as I'm doing. Just watch carefully what I'm doing so you understand. And as I told you earlier, the limit is going to be my hip line. So this is what I have. I'm drawing out the outline of my pocket lining. So the pocket is going to have a lining, and this is one of the linings. I cut this out, and then I'm also going to cut out a second identical piece. This is going to be the second lining of our pockets. Now I'll go ahead to cut out this pocket shape which I have on my front short piece. I'll cut it out, and then I'll pick up one of the lining pieces of my pocket and I'll trace out the shape, and I'll also cut it out. So one of the pocket linings is going to have this shape. So now I have my pocket lining patterns complete. Now let's transfer all these patterns to fabric.